Hello and good evening, everyone. I am doing a pronunciation training tonight. I'm going to jump right in. So if people join later, that is perfectly fine. I wanted to let you know that this training will give you some tools to teach pronunciation. If you have not watched the intro video, basically all I talked about was I'll be introducing consonants and their pairings. There will be 7 brother and sister consonant pairings, 3 cousin groupings, and 3 borrower letters. These are all consonants, and I will give you tools for teaching these consonants. Again, in the intro video, I just introduced the first pair. You first ask the letter name. This is letter P. Ask the letter sound. It's P without the so it's not P. And then you want to ask whoever you're training, whether it's students or a counterpart or adults, which part of your mouth do you use when you make this sound? Is it your lips, your tongue, your teeth, or even your nose? So when you make the sound, you use your lips, and what action? You are popping your lips. So I asked the letter name, the letter sound, what part of the mouth is used to make the sound, and what action is used. So we'll call P a lip popper. And to find the brother or sister of this letter, it'll be a letter that makes the same movement, but a different sound. And that letter is B. It also makes your lips pop. So it's a B, B sound without the just a B. And the last thing we talked about is quiet and loud sounds. So unvoiced and voiced sounds. You can tell which one's quiet and which one's loud by covering your ears, saying each sound, and whatever sound sounds louder is the voiced sound. So it just brings awareness to letters. So if you're training someone, it's a fun way to teach these letters. I also like teaching these letters together because they face the same way. And when children are writing, or even adults, they often reverse these 2 letters to look like a D and a Q. So teaching them together can really concretize that they are brother sisters, they sound the same, and they are written in the same direction. So I will keep going. Let's see. So the next brother-sister pairing is going to start with this letter. So you'd ask, what letter is this? Letter T. What sound does it make? T, t. And then you might ask, what part of your face or mouth did you use to make that sound? And you'll notice you're mostly using your tongue. And what is your tongue doing? It is tapping. That's a good visual way to show children or anyone, if they're having trouble making this sound, that your tongue is tapping up and down. It's a tongue tapper. And if you can, think about which letter, and you can ask your students this, which letter do you think is the brother or sister of the T sound? It's made in the same way, your tongue taps, but it's a different sound. You can give them choices. You could say, okay, which one of these do you think is the brother or sister of the letter T? They can make each sound, G, D, and K. And they'll notice that the letter D is in fact the brother-sister pairing. It also has your tongue tapping. T, D, 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 D. Actually, tapping down. D, D. So this is a brother-sister pairing. You also, if you want to bring awareness to which one is voiced and unvoiced, you can ask that question. So the letter T, 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 and the letter D, D, D. Okay, which one's louder? You cover your ears. T, T, D, D. Okay, The letter D is the voiced or the loud sound. You can also touch your throat and feel which one vibrates. That will be the loud sound. So t, d, you'll feel it vibrate. This is a really good pairing for matayom. I have a document that I will share with you right now in the chat where the letter ED is placed at the end of many words, and it's pronounced differently. It's a very difficult task for a non-native speaker to figure out. So I'm going to post it right now. So for example, the word moved. What sound does it have at the end? A D sound, a T sound, or an id sound? Moved has a D sound. But the word touched has a T sound at the end. Touched, even though it ends in ed. Another one, played. Okay, D sound. Wanted. It's want and id together. It's not want or want. It's wanted. There's an extra vowel sound in there. So I have a document that I just sent. It'll be on the Google Drive where whoever you're teaching can go through, and maybe a native speaker can say the word and they can listen for the ending and try to figure out if the ed, what sound is it making. Again, that has to do with that DT brother and sister pairing. Okay, moving on. There's a lot to get through. This is a really good one that I brought up at mid-service with the 129s. These letters, so I'll start with this letter. What letter is it? K. What sound does it make? K. All right, not K, because that has the U, short U sound. It's just K. And that's a fun one to teach kids. You know, do it exaggerated. K, 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 K. Okay, so we have the K or K sound. And we want to think about what part of our mouth we're using to make the sound. Okay, we're using our tongue. And what is our tongue doing? What's the action? It looks like, it feels like your tongue is curled down. Okay, so we're going to call this, let's see, what did I call it? And your students can make up names too, whatever fits for them. I call it a tongue curler down. There's going to be one other letters that come up. So this is a tongue curler down. When you make this sound. All right. So the brother-sister pairing for this one, I'm just going to tell you right away. When you make the K sound voiced, it's going to be a G sound. Your tongue also curls down for the G sound. So this is the brother-sister pairing. This one is quiet. This one is loud. And interestingly, what you want to bring up right away is that the K sound also the same sound as the letter C, right? K and K. Okay, so that's a very fun way. You can play slap game if you have students, or if you're just with adults, you can explain where if you make the K sound and they have to go touch the letter that makes that sound, it's actually 2 letters. Now, of course, there are exceptions. C and G have exceptions where if they're placed with certain vowels, they make different sounds. And the good thing about this pairing is that it's the same rule for both of these letters. So let me show you. So we'll start with the letter C. The letter C makes the sound K or the letter K, right? When it's paired with basically any vowel. A, O, U, long vowels, so cat, caught, cut. However, when C is paired with E, oh, I have it this way, E, I, and Y, it now changes its sound to an S sound. So all your students have to remember, or you have them write down, is that E, I, and Y are special vowels that change the letter C's sound to an S sound. Scent, city, cycle. As I said, the same rule applies to the letter G. which is very convenient. The letter G with any other vowel besides E, I, and Y makes the G sound. G makes the same sound that it is, G. Gate, got, gun. However, when it's paired with E and I and Y, it makes the J sound. So gentle, giant, gym. It also can be found at the end of words. So age, a GE, makes the J sound. So this pairing, the C and the G, makes for a nice little rule that you can teach your kids or even adults so that they can differentiate when C says S and when G says J, like giraffe. All right, so that is the other pairing. Let's keep going. Again, all these resources are on the Google Drive. Let's do this one. Okay. What letter? Letter name, sorry. S. Letter sound. S. What part of your mouth are you using to make the sound? S. Well, for this one, your teeth are together and your lips are apart and you're kind of smiling and there's air coming out. So it's a S. You might feel your tongue pushing on the back of your teeth that are closed. So I'm going to call this letter a smile pusher because your tongue's pushing. Again, whoever your students are can make up any name they want. When they talk about how it feels for them, they can make up a name. The brother, sister for this letter, if you make it voiced, so this is the quiet, unvoiced sound, you can make it vibrate. You can go S or Z. So that would be the letter Z. So this is a brother-sister pairing. Again, same mouth action and part of the mouth. I do not have a document for this. However, it would be very useful for anyone you're teaching this pairing together to know that plurals often at the end will have an S. However, they sound like a Z. Let's see, cats, that's an S. Dogs, yeah, dogs has a Z sound instead of an S sound, even though it's an S. So that could be another activity similar to the ED at the end of words, where you could go through and figure out how they're pronounced. Okay, moving on. Letter name, F. Letter sound, not B. No involved in this, just. Okay, so which part of the mouth is being used for this? We could say the upper teeth and the lower lip. I call this a teeth lip blower because you have to blow air. So it's a sound. This is the quiet sound. If you make your throat vibrate, you can make the brother-sister pairing. So becomes that is a hard pronunciation for many Thais. So this is a good one to practice. And they like to do it. They can pretend like it's a motorcycle. And it's fun to exaggerate your teeth on your lips and to show them that. It's an easy way to practice that pronunciation. So F, V, we can call them the teeth lip blowers. Okay. We have another pairing that is also blowing. And it's not a typical consonant. It's a, I'm not sure what they're called, not diphthong, something like that. It's TH. Okay, so we have T, TH. This is also one where the action is blowing. So what letter pairing is this? It's TH. What part of your mouth, or what sound does it make? It makes the sound. Okay, so you stick your tongue out, you put your top teeth on it, and you blow. So instead of a teeth lip blower for F, This is a teeth tongue blower. And yes, your tongue does come out to make this sound. We don't notice a lot as native speakers. This pairing, this pairing can be quiet or loud. Okay, so it can be voiced or unvoiced. So it could be as in think, or it can be as in the, where it vibrates. I have a worksheet again on this in the Google Drive. I'll post it right now, where students can practice and say a bunch of TH words and try to figure out which of the words are pronounced with a loud TH and which are pronounced with a quiet TH. This is something more for, I would say, adults or matayom, but it is good practice for pronunciation. All right, moving on, we're going to do more letters with the H. So we have this combination, which is, this is CH. What sound does it make? Ch. Okay, so ch. Now this is the quiet brother or sister. Hold on, change something. Okay, this is the quiet brother or sister. And how do we make this sound? We round our lips and we make a fast puff. Ch, ch. Kind of like a choo-choo train. Ch, ch. Okay? Now to make the loud brother-sister, make your voice vibrate. See what sound comes out. Ch becomes j, j, which of course is the letter J. Okay, so this is an interesting pairing where j and ch are paired together because they are made in the same way, the same action, same part of your mouth, making a fast puffing sound. Okay, now there's also a letter pairings that make a slow puff. Okay, so we have SH. SH makes the sound shh. So your lips are still rounded, but it's a slow release of air. Shh. And actually, this letter combination does have a loud brother or a loud sister. Okay, so shh is quiet. Shh. And when you make it loud, zzz, zzz. We can show this as like a ZH. However, this is never written in our written language. The sound that this is making, the zzz, is found in words like treasure, where it's a zzz, not treasure, treasure. So that's an interesting pairing as well. Again, probably better for adults, but if you are teaching the SH sound, you can always show the lips are rounded and it's a slow release of air. Shh. Okay, so there's that pairing. That is all for the brother-sister pairings. Those are paired together, again, because the same part of the mouth and the same action are put together. Then there's the cousin groupings. These letters are not made exactly in the same way. They're similar, just like you are similar to your cousin, but not as similar as maybe you are to your siblings, your brother or your sister. So we'll start with these ones because they're fun. We have the letter M, which is putting your lips together. Not ma. There's no involved. We have the letter N. You know, so you're still keeping everything together, but and then even NG, which is a ng, you can teach with this consonants combo cousins, maybe if they're older. These two letters and the NG sound are actually produced with the help of your nose. So a fun thing to do with kids is to try to make these sounds while plugging your nose. So if you say and then you go You can't really make the sound. N is plug your nose, and you can barely make the sound. Same with NG. So that's a really fun one for the kids. Again, it just brings awareness to the pronunciation of these letters. So this is a cousin grouping, M, N, and NG. As you notice, we're doing some combinations of letters, not just consonants. So it's not just the alphabet. It's a little more advanced at times. You can always take out the ones that have SH, TH, and just wait for that later. We also have WH, which is the W, also, and H. All of these, this pairing, this cousin pairing, is basically just using air. We call them, those ones that we just did were the nosies, if you're working with kids, and these ones can be the windies. So we got w, and we have h. Okay, so lots of air, wide mouth, so w and h. Okay, not h with an I'm going to reinstate that many times because that is a mistake to teach letters with that sound. That makes the students say things like snake instead of snake. Last pairing, which is one of the most difficult cousin combos for ties to pronounce, are the L and the R. Yes, L and the R. When you make these sounds, think about how you're using your mouth and what action you are doing. So when you make or you can maybe see in the video that my tongue is being used. What it's actually doing is curling up. And when I say the L sound, it's forward in my mouth. And when I say the R sound, it comes backwards, still curled up, but backwards. So, again, just the visual of the hand is super helpful if a student is having trouble pronouncing these two. There is another document in the Google Drive with lots of activities to do with L and R because those are such challenging letters to pronounce. All right, almost done. A couple more tidbits for you. So we went through brother, sister pairings, cousin groupings, and then these last letters are called borrowers. So these letters borrow other letters' sounds. For example, the letter Q. What two sounds make up the letter Q? I'm going to find the flashcards while you think about it. And yes, it is a k and a w, qu. So Q, and it's almost always paired with a U, is a KW sound. So that's one way to teach it, so students can practice the sound. K, w, qu. All right, so this letter Q borrows two sounds, K and W. One more letter borrows the K sound, but it's paired with another letter, this letter X. Letter X is paired with none other K and S make up the X sound. So X. Okay. Last but definitely not least is the letter Y, which borrows all sorts of sounds, oftentimes vowel sounds. So it has its own sound, which is Y. However, it borrows many, many sounds, which is why it's sometimes referred to as a vowel. One way to teach this, especially with kids or just anyone for a visual, is to make a visual caterpillar. And with this visual caterpillar, as you can see, it shows all the sounds Y can make. So at the beginning of a word, it makes the Y sound, yellow. In the middle of a word, it can make many sounds. So it can make the short I sound, as in gym. It can make the long I sound, as in cycle or cry, so the I sound. It can make the long A sound in they or say. They, unfortunately, is spelled with the EY, and somehow it makes the A sound. That's just a weird exception. We also have the E, long E sound in key or study. So Y by itself at the end can make the E sound, or even that EY, except for in they. We'll make that E, long E. Also, it can make an OI sound. So the OY sound is OI, as in toy. All right, so that is that. Those are all the consonants and all of the tricks I have for teaching anyone that's having trouble with pronunciation, some pronunciation tricks. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Again, I will post this video, send it out, and have all the resources available. So hopefully you can use it. Let me know how useful this information was. You can send an email to teachingpct@gmail.com, which is our curriculum team email. It would be helpful to know what was most helpful in the training, what you still have questions about, or what you really still wish to know. So if it was helpful, what was helpful, and any questions you have still. The next training I will do will be next week, and it's on vowels. I have some rules to teach. There's a vowel chart that helps visually show anyone you're teaching where these vowel sounds are made in the mouth. Again, a focus on feeling so that students have that, I guess, kinesthetic feel for sounds, kids or adults. So that's that. Thank you for joining. It's about a 30-minute video, which is a little bit longer than what I wanted, but there was a lot to cover. So thanks again, and see you later. Happy Saturday.